For losing weight, let's say, because that's the biggest thing that most people...
I know. I didn't say that because I again wanted to say that do not lose weight. Modify your body composition.
A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Alok Chopra. Before I ask you any questions, I just saw somewhere that when somebody asked you if you're doing or you recommend intermittent diet, and you said no. But I think you were one of the pioneers for that same diet.
Well, yes, I've been at it for the last 5 or 6 years. I don't like to use that word because it has assumed a huge fat status. Apart from that, people who don't know what it really means and are missing out on the real science behind it are actually pelting it out and making a mess of it, and not a complete mess, but a mess of it, and it's giving people a sort of feeling that it's just one of those things. And that's why I don't like using the word, because I prefer the word timed fasting. Okay. Because you can do it every day, then alternate day fast, then this, so many little things can be done. But for example, water fast. Now water fast I would reserve for people who are really ill, who've got cancers and things like that. So there are different ways for different situations. But for normal people, healthy people, reversal of diabetes or routine situations, and not...
For losing weight, let's say, because that's the biggest thing that most people...
I know. I didn't say that because I again wanted to say that do not lose weight. Modify your body composition.
So intermittent fasting can lead to a muscle weight also. It's not just the fat that you're losing.
Yes. So the best one is we work backwards. That we want to have about minimum 3 hours between your last meal and sleep. So let us say you want to finish your meal at 7, not start at 7. Working backwards, it will be 11.
Okay.
So the most worked out one is a 8-16 one.
So meaning 16 hours you do not eat and you eat in 8 hours?
That's it. The eating window is 8 hours. The non-eating window, including sleep, is about 16 hours.
But what a lot of people are probably confused about is, because they are all just reading on the internet and just following it, is that in those 8 hours, eat just about anything.
Yes, because now the tagline is, it's not what you eat, it's when you eat, which is partly true. But because of that, people start eating junk, they break their fast wrongly, they eat things before which they don't know will break their fast, and so many other things. My tagline would be, don't eat less often.
Okay.
So that means there are times when we eat once a day and we fast for longer. It's a damn good thing to do. I do it personally at least once a week.
And the other thing being, as you said, a lot of people start eating junk. So do you think this fasting would work for them irrespective of whether they're eating junk or not, if they're closing that window to maybe 6 hours of eating or something?
See, in this type of fasting, you can, first of all, this 16-8, again I don't want to push 16-8 because again it becomes a fad. So you can start with 12-12, you can start with 10-14 and then progress onto this. But you do not have the luxury of overcompensating or junk eating.
So you have to manage your calories.
You have to manage. No, calories is a bad word.
The food.
Yeah, calories is a bad word because calories in and calories out is no longer there. In my entire reversal of diabetes program, it's the number of carbs that are important, it's not the calories.
Now question, a lot of people say, okay, if you're finishing eating maybe by 7 and you're going to bed by 11, you're hungry, can you have a glass of milk or something? Or when you say 7, it is a hard stop at 7 and no more eating after that?
Yes, in a way it is, but the thing is that when you eat something metabolically active after your last meal, then you see you're already junking the whole program. Because when you eat, you're going to make more oxidative stress, more reactive oxygen species.
Absolutely.
Night is the time when you need ketones to burn. The moment you eat something which is a carb which is stored as glycogen, then glycogen is another ready-made source of energy, so your fat doesn't burn. A lot of people in India will have some methi dana honey or some haldi in this thing or this and that. Now the truth is that around 30 calories or so, maximum 50 calories you can push in without breaking your fast. But it all depends upon how metabolically active it is. Supposing I say I am having 1 peanut, it's less than 30 calories, but it's metabolically very active. Okay. So what you can have is black tea, black coffee, green coffee, nimbu pani. You can have a little bit of aloe vera. You can have spices and herbs a little bit. That's okay.
After you've been doing this intermittent fasting for 5 years, what is the change that you've seen in your body? And
so I feel younger, I feel stronger, I feel mental clarity. I can use my ability to exercise and other sporty activities much better. I was borderline insulin resistant, never diabetic, but nothing. My insulin levels are normal. The other biomarkers for inflammation are gone. Biomarkers of oxidative stress are gone. So it's just simply wonderful.
So if I understand correctly, basically, if you want to do intermittent fasting, it's good for you. 16-8, make sure that eat less often. And the second thing, try to eat your last meal at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep.